I decided to use lead clips on a recent session because of where I was fishing, and it turned out to be a bit of a disaster. So I was fishing down the river yesterday, and I did have a number of takes. I did land one, which was great, very nice common, but I had a couple of takes. The lead was ejected on the take, and I wound down and connected to nothing, just fresh air. You can see the way that the D has been elongated here and pulled, so that I absolutely know these rigs have had a take and the carp has ejected the rig. Now, most unusually, I decided to fish lead clips on this particular swim because it's quite deep. I'm fishing at the bottom of a long rocky slope, and there's zebra mussels and all sorts of hazards there. I was even cut off once on one of the takes as well, where a fish had taken me into the rocks. So it really is a bit kind of on the edge fishing. But what was really interesting was that I got a number of pickups. The lead was ejected on the take, but I was fishing barbless. I haven't ever combined barbless with a lead clip system. I haven't fished lead clips for years either. So what I found was that the combination of these two things actually was a really bad idea. I didn't connect with the fish. I lost the lead anyway. So I'm going to cut this setup off now because I'm going back there this afternoon, and I'm going to go back to a simple little plain running setup with a barbless. So this is the rig that I was fishing with yesterday. Simple heavy duty mono D rig. This is the blown out version, so this actually banked the carp I had. We've got some 65-pound cling on here, which is quite heavy. Simple lead clip system. That was the one that was ejected. So basically the fish has just come along, and on the take, bunk, the lead has been ejected. But it didn't work. I didn't catch the fish and I lost a couple of leads. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut all this off. There's nothing wrong with the rig part, but I'm going to lose that lead clip. I'm also going to lose this cling on leader as well. I realise that I do not need that because I'm fishing bowstring tight lines, and I'm just going to go running lead on some 30-pound mono leader. So I'm going to cut that off. So my main line and leader setup for this particular swim, we got 20-pound bullet, and at the end of that we've got the 30-pound heavy duty mono snag leader. That's 0.50, and there's 10 meters of that, so a really robust setup. I could go heavier, but I'm hoping that is going to be enough. So the setup I'm going to use, I've got a little plastic run ring there, and I found these run rings actually break at about 10 pound of force. So that will give me some kind of breakaway effect there. Just a standard little quick link there. So this is going to be running on the leader, and then I'm going to be able to clip a lead on and off that, so it's going to be kind of really quick to get going and get fishing. That's a helicopter sleeve. I've just taken the bead off there because I don't need this. So I'm not going to use this as a helicopter rig. I'm going to use this as a running rig. So to make this setup, I'm just going to take the 30-pound leader. I slide the ring on there. Then I take the sleeve and put that on there. Then I'm going to take a quick change swivel, and we're just going to tie that directly onto the end of the leader. And I'm just going to use a 3-turn blood knot for this. It's nice thick mono, and I find a blood knot is all you need really. I'm going to take another swivel, I'm going to hook that on there. Then I'm going to take my puller, I'm going to hook that in there, and that will enable me to pull that down. It's all operating in the right way. There we go, really strong. So here you go, really simple setup. The heli sleeve's going to run over there like that. The run ring goes over there like that and sits on there, and the lead just gets clipped on there like that. Because I'm fishing a really heavy setup, we got 30-pound leader, 20-pound main line. If that leg gets jammed, I know that these break at about 10 pounds, so I'm just going to be able to pull for a break there, and I won't leave any gear in the river, which I absolutely hate. So very simple plain running rig setup, really sensitive, very effective, and I'm sure that's going to do the business for us down the river today. That was the rig that actually caught the fish, so you can see the blowback tube is still slid up there and the D has been elongated. So what I do is I just put my old rigs, line them all up there, and then when I've got a bit of time I'll go through, recycle all those components, turn them into fresh rigs ready to go. So I really don't think I need the heavy leads that I took yesterday either, so those are 4.5 ounce. There's a lot of flow on, but it just wasn't that bad, so I'm going to take some 2s and 3s. Well, that is absolutely bonkers. I've literally only put one rod out and I was just prepping my second and my first one's ripped off. That running lead system is absolutely phenomenally effective, and if the fish are there, you're going to catch them. Quite typical of the river, this little one. Stocky, powerful little common, and went like a stabbed rat. Absolutely fantastic fun. Well, I've never had one that looks like this on the river. It's a ghosty, 30-pound 8, and had all sorts of trouble with this one. Got tangled up with the brambles, and I had a take on my second rod at the same time with the chub. Absolutely mad. Again, exactly the same rig, same bait, same prep, same method. Killer. Well, it's proper kicking off here this afternoon. That's 3 takes in about an hour and a half, and absolutely mental. One was a chub, but that ghosty I've just let back. What a stunner that was. Never had a ghosty on the river. Based on my work at Beausoleil, which is a lake that sees an awful lot of angling pressure, I know that any form of semi-fixed rig is really not a very good idea, as the carp are going to use the weight of the lead against you to eject the rig time after time, and you might even not know it's going on. That's why I only fish running rigs there, and so do most of our guests. It's easy to assume that carp that aren't fished for much are easier to catch, and that's what I thought too, but I was wrong. I've been fishing French public waters for many years, mainly doing short day sessions. Up until 2 years ago, I mainly used lead clips because it just seemed to suit the style of fishing that I was doing. There are always snags to contend with, and sometimes dumping the lead on the take is a necessity. Yes, I caught some nice carp, but my hook to land ratio dropped from its normal 98% down to 70%. I kind of thought that it was the price I had to pay to ensure carp safety, and I was okay with that. For the whole of my public French fishing last year, I used the Nash run clip, and if you haven't seen that video already, I've done a full review of that. What was amazing was that my hook to land ratio went from 70% up to 100%. I didn't lose a single carp out on my public fishing last year. This year I've started fishing a swim where I thought dropping the lead on the tape was absolutely essential. So I opted to go back to lead clips for this particular swim. What was really shocking was that on my first try I had 4 takes and I only landed one of them. I knew I was absolutely getting done because twice the leads were dumped, and another time the whole rig was taken into a snag and I lost a lot. It was a disaster. What my year with the Nash run clip taught me was that running rigs are more effective than any form of semi-fixed lead clip setup, even when you're fishing for unpressured carp. And I've absolutely seen this again this week. Oh, this is absolute freaking madness. Fish on the mat and I'm having a triple take. First fish is safely secured, so he's not going anywhere. Sometimes I have a passerby that lends a hand, but at the moment there's not a soul. It's just me. That's a good fish. I've just seen it. It's a mirror. Man, he does not want to know. I've got lily pads in front of me trying to pluck the hook out. I think we're done. I think we're done. Come on. Oh my God. I'm just looking at a new river PB. 47, 8 ounces. This is ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. Oh, I've had a couple of chunks from the river. but this is freaking huge. It's a dinosaur of a carp. What a beast. If you still don't understand the power of running rigs and barbless hooks, just give them a go. They're bloody brilliant. So what am I going to do moving forward? For a start, I'm only going to use running rigs no matter where I'm fishing. If I need to dump the lead on the take, I'll use the run clip. If there's a risk of my lead jamming between rocks, I'm absolutely going to add some kind of rotten bottom safe breakaway system. I can create it with mono or C-clips. There are loads of options. A soft plastic run ring works quite well, especially when you're fishing really heavy, because those break at about 10 pounds worth of force. It's kind of a broken linear, this one. Half linear. The length of him. Absolutely fantastic fish. Stunning. Going to put a bit of Medicarp on this one. He's lifted a scale. And we'll slip him back. Mouth is absolutely pristine. If you only know lead clips and you do want to try something else, then click the link on the screen and that's going to take you to a video which shows you how to create a safe breakaway lead system from a few simple components that you might already have to hand